Guys, this is Aqua Team Covenant. I'm here with DC from Privateer Press. Now, what's your official role?
I am the development manager at Privateer.
And what does that mean?
Well, it means that among working on a lot of the projects at Privateer, doing development work on all of our game lines, predominantly Warmachine, Hordes, and the Bodgers game lines for the moment. I do also oversee a lot of the other projects, make sure things are progressing smoothly and moving forward, looking at the timelines and when different games will come out and how they'll be released. So I do some of the management side of things and some of the development side of things, hence development manager.
Awesome. Now, we have something special here, right?
We do.
What is this?
This is the first Galleon Colossal, the Mercenary Colossal, other than the studio one. It is very, very, very close to the final thing. This one is all resin, while the final one will have some metal parts. But it is very close to the final one that you'll see in stores when it comes out in December.
That's really cool. That base is actually pretty sweet. Did you do that?
A friend of mine at the office did it, Nate. He works in the studio. He whipped that up for me in just like 10 or 15 minutes during break. Gave me a nice wood grain on my base.
That's
but
ridiculous.
I did paint it and assemble it myself.
That's awesome. So, let's talk a little bit about the Galleon. One, from a development standpoint, did you have a hand on this at all?
Some. I was not part of developing the original concept on this particular model, but I was definitely involved in playtesting and in the balance side of things on the Galleon. I had the opportunity to playtest him a lot before anyone really knew what he was going to be or how he was going to work, and got the opportunity to try him with a number of different casters. Bart here in the middle, the captain of the Calamitous, that giant ship that the pirates have. He is definitely a favorite with the Galleon, as many, many Merc players will tell you. But I also enjoy playing him with Magnus or Fiona or a number of other casters as well. It isn't always all Bart all the time. So, although Dougal McNail here is a big Galleon supporter, he's a great little 2-point support solo that has a ability to give nearby friendly faction models +2 range for a turn.
Which can
amazing
be a big deal
for something with all those cannons and that harpoon.
What is the range on the Galleon?
The range on the cannons is 14, and he gets 2d3 shots with each cannon battery, or 1d3 with each cannon battery for 2d3 total. So that's anywhere from 2 to 6 cannon shots, range 14, PAL 13, with a 3-inch AoE. And then also on the giant harpoon, that is a POW 15 weapon. It's only range 10, so having Dougal McNail bring it up to a 12 is really nice. You can reach out that little bit further, and then it has the drag rule to drag them in. Then you wreck them with the claw and more harpoon strikes.
That's pretty awesome. So, if you could give the overall essence of this model, what does it do?
Well, one of the big things is that mixed melee and range roll. Because it can drag something into base-to-base contact using the harpoon, it can do its ranged attacks, choosing that as the initial attacks option, and then also get the opportunity to do melee. A lot of different Colossals, when they choose initial ranged attacks, that means they don't get an opportunity to use their melee prowess in the same turn. This guy gets to wreck you both ways as long as he successfully damages someone with that harpoon.
So he basically shoots, and then if he hits you, he can drag you in and then buy extra melee attacks to wail on you.
Correct.
Now, what is his focus stat?
Well, as with all Warjacks, unless you have some sort of a bond, he has a maximum focus of 3. But keep in mind that those attacks on the gun batteries there, it's D3 per side for 2d3 total without spending any focus. That's
so
not the rate of fire.
Before you even...
Yep. So on average, you'll get about 4 cannon shots and a harpoon shot without spending a single point of focus.
Now that can be really great for dealing with infantry, potentially, because you can shoot a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And then your last shot could potentially be on a bigger model to drag it in and start wailing on it, right?
Yep. Yeah, it can also, PAL 13 is also no slouch if you've got, especially if you've got a knockdown enemy model. Some boosted 13s are pretty hefty if you want to keep them at a distance, or if they're undraggable. Like some of the Gargantuans and Colossals who have armor stats in that 18-19 sort of range, you can't drag them because you can't drag Colossals and Gargantuans with a harpoon. But you can dish out some pretty good damage with a boosted PAL 15 from the harpoon and a few boosted 13s from the cannons.
Awesome. Now, this year has been pretty big for Privateer with the Colossals all coming out, some of the Gargantuans, the Colossal book. The Gargantuan book's scheduled for March. How big of a deal do you think the Gargantuan book is going to be? All the models that come with it, and then also how much, you said you were slightly involved with this, but is your role changing as far as how much of an imprint you'll have in the next year or two?
Well, my role is definitely growing as we're getting more and more invested in the role-playing game and the various products that come along with that. I've been shifted even more heavily into the Warmachine and Hordes development side of things. So the stuff that you see in 2013 will definitely have a lot of involvement from me, both in the Gargantuans books and in the books that come after that. I think that Gargantuans will have a lot of impact on the competitive environment and on what people play and the new products that people want to get, but some of those models are already known.
Sure.
Yet there's still some surprises in store. So overall, I'm looking forward to seeing the reaction to that book, both the new and the old, and seeing how these Colossals and Gargantuans, once they're all out, really shape the face of the 2013 meta.
Well, speaking of the meta, so we've got these giant things that are coming out, right? And this is a clear example of not even all the Gargantuans, not every faction has their Colossal or Gargantuan yet. We're here at Warmachine Weekend, we're seeing a last chance qualifier. How do you think these models in particular have shaped the meta, and are people potentially using them more now than they eventually will just because they are new?
Yeah, I think that all of that is very true. I think that right now we've got a little bit of an extra influx of Gargantuans and Colossals because they are the new hotness. But I think once that settles out, we will still see these monsters on the tabletop throughout 2013 and into the future as well, because they do provide a really hard-hitting, powerful army element in one package. And being able to give 3 focus points to this monster and have it able to just really apply some pressure can be a very efficient way to use your focus stat. They also pair well with a lot of different spells, things like Snipe, Broadside, Batten Down the Hatches, Telgesh Mark. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with different casters having control over the Colossals, and people are already seeing that, whether it's the Judicator with Fiora 2's Warjack Bond, or the Stormwall with Invincibility and Arcane Shield being virtually untouchable. There's just so many things you can do with so many different Colossals and Gargantuans with their Warcasters or Warlocks. I think we're bound to see them in the future. But at the same time, I don't think they're something that must be in every army list.
They're not
too good. They're not too good. Certainly there are options to still play that infantry-heavy game, to play models like the Hammerfall or Horgenhold Dwarves here, who are their weapon masters. They're pretty good then at dishing out solid damage, 4 dice on the charge against Colossals and Gargantuans, and you can get a whole lot of small-based models in around one huge base model. Now, so it becomes a game of cat and mouse. You're trying to get your guys into position to take down that Colossal. They're trying to defend it if they're a good player. Granted, some people forget to defend their Colossals and Gargantuans, and they might wind up a little bit disappointed because no model in the game is completely immune to destruction at the hands of a canny opponent.
So now, I mean, one thing that's cool about the Colossals is that you can't move them, and they can't be knocked down, right? So in a scenario type instance, you can go park them in a zone or whatever, and they literally have to die before they're going anywhere. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you were saying, you're spending 18, 19, 20 points here,
right,
instead of on all these little models, which can be really good for scenarios. So
sure.
Do you think that Colossals are more of a hindrance or a help as far as scenario play comes?
I think that it balances out really nicely. Yes, you've got something that's unmovable and extremely hard to destroy in a limited amount of time and resources. But, like you said, if I've got several units of 2-point mechanics or choir or beast handlers, they can just run wherever I want. And I can snatch up some VPs or at least contest wherever I feel like doing so in a way that a Colossal or Gargantuan is unable to do. So I think the give and take there is really good for scenario play and keeps things so that a variety of play styles are still legitimate and viable in the meta.
That's really cool. I'm really excited to see some of the Gargantuans that haven't been fully spoiled yet. Anyways, so as a lead developer of the game, where we have this colossal Gargantuan stage, right, where these books are coming out, these huge models are coming out. and before that it was siege engines. What's the next step? Like, where you've gone huge. I don't think you're going to go tiny.
Well, we could.
You could, just super small bases, but
we're going to go with the new 1 millimeter base.
the mice. No, I'm just kidding. So, what at that point, you look at the meta. Is it just more the same, or is there some direction you would like to take it or see it go? What's on your brain at that point as far as creating the next stage of what's going to shape the meta?
Well, one of the things that I was talking about with someone earlier here at Warmachine Weekend is how a lot of the recent Warcasters and Warlocks really give something fresh to their faction, allow them to play in a new style or kind of put a focus on particular army elements. A lot of the recent Warlocks and Warcasters, both from Domination, from the Colossal book, from Gargantuans once it comes out, from Wrath, these are models that give you a new way to play, even with the same models on the table. Someone was talking to me about facing Vlad 3 for the first time, and just the wow factor of just how maneuverable the cavalry is under the feet. And it's true, and it's intentional, and it's something that you just could not do with a Khador army in the past, and now you can. So there's still lots of room. It isn't necessarily always about some new base size, of course,
sure,
or some new overarching mechanic, but we do have a lot of new things planned. You've already heard about some of the Warlock units, where rather than just making the base of one model bigger and bigger, which we do have in the case of the new version of Lilith, we also have models. Yes, I understand that you've got a bit of a Legion excitement going on there for her.
Absolutely.
But we've also got models like Grimm's new incarnation, where he's got the 2 little pygmy trolls with him, and they add to that Warlock in their own way. So rather than one big base, you now have a Warlock with his buddies working together in harmony to produce a sum that's greater than the parts.
Absolutely.
So there's different directions to take it. We do definitely want to keep having these exciting and new Warcasters and Warlocks. We're also going to have plenty of other new things that'll come in all sorts of unexpected packages, whether it's new game mechanics, new model abilities, things that people can look forward to over the next year.
So, I could probably talk to you for an hour about all this stuff, but to conclude, what is the one thing that you're most excited about in regards to Warmachine Hordes? Whether it's a new thing coming out in the next year or two, whether it's some direction you're going to take it, whether it's a certain model like the Archangel, for me personally, very excited about that. What is the one thing that really gets you amped up for Warmachine?
Well, I'm very tempted to just cop out a little bit and say I'm most excited about seeing players' reactions to 2013 and all of the work that I've been putting in over the past year or so here. But the answer is a little bit more specific, but I'm still going to have to be vague, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine.
The thing I am by far most excited about is the new thing that we're going to announce at TempleCon 2013.
And when is that?
And that is the thing we're going to announce at TempleCon 2013.
No, when is TempleCon?
Oh, it is in February.
Awesome.
But I will not tell you what it is. I'm afraid I cannot do so at this time.
No hints?
No hints.
But there's something exciting at TempleCon.
Oh, there's always a lot of new announcements at TempleCon, but this one's going to blow you away.
Well, thank you so much, DC. I absolutely look forward to it, and hopefully we'll be finding out in the spring what exactly is getting you so excited.
Yep, indeed. I am
so much,
very
DC.
excited. Take care, Zach.